All right. One step forward, two steps back. Padres lose today in DC. They're back to 5 games under 500, and the struggle continues. They just cannot get this thing going. John and Jim with you on the wrap-up show on this Wednesday evening. Please subscribe if you're here. We have year-round exclusive Padres content for you. Please smash the like button for us. Please follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. I'm trying to keep it quiet because my dog's howling and my son went to sleep 30 seconds ago. We appreciate your support with the super chats. Just click the $sign below the chat box. We'll get to all of the super chats. We see a couple have already come in. We'll make sure to get to all the super chats. Thank you for your memberships. If you want to become a member of this channel, click the join button down below. You get custom emojis and badges. This is one of those games where, this actually hasn't been who they've been. They were sloppy. This has not been a sloppy defensive team. They were super sloppy. Ryan Weathers looked more like last year than he did this year. And offensively, nothing. I mean, just no opportunities, a couple of long balls, which is encouraging. They've hit 6 in the series, which is a huge number. But 4 total hits. Look at the top of the order, Jim. I mean, it's an embarrassment. Bogart's 4 strikeouts. Yeah, I mean, it just wasn't good. And like we talked about on the radio, I mean, a couple of good days followed by a bad day does not make for a good 3 days. I mean, this is a team that's 5 games under, not 5 games over. That's the team they are today, 22 and 27.
But man, those 2 wins in a row, though, John. Let's celebrate those, right?
Those were big.
Those were big because if they didn't win those games, then there are 7 games under 500 instead of just 5. This team has no benefit of the doubt until they get above 500. I'm sorry, they just don't. They've been playing like shit for the entire year. Let's call a spade a spade. And I mean, I asked this on Twitter tonight, when is this team going to be above 500? Because at this point in time, they're not a serious baseball team. I mean, you can't be like going through an entire season, or at least a half of the season, trying to get above 500. And I just feel like, the 1 step forward, 2 steps back thing, you won 2 games in a row. Great. Build on that. Win 3 in a row, which you haven't done in forever. Win 4 in a row, which you haven't done like all year. But no, once again, you shit the bed. You can't hit. You get nobody in runners and scoring. You get nobody in runners and scoring position, so you don't even have a chance to like.
Yeah, they weren't bad because there were no opportunities.
Right, you can't do that. So, it just they have to be better, and we continue to say that. And the quotes from Bob Melvin tonight after the game just was like, he said this a million times. Where did he? Oh, I have it right here. He said, it's just not the quality at bats that we should be having, especially late in games, especially with runners in scoring position. One, Bob, you didn't have anybody in scoring position tonight, so the quality of the bats consisted to like 1. But it goes again to, he's basically saying they had no fight. Like, just anytime this team gets down by 3 runs or 2 runs, it's over. It is literally over. This team will not come back, and they have not come back and won a game trailing by more than 4 runs, like all year
outside of Mexico, basically. Okay, a couple things here. There's another shot. I think we might have been in the office. I might have been home. I forget. There's another shot tonight where they're down 3 runs and they're smiling. You got veteran players smiling.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I think we might have been on the air, but I looked over and I saw it. So there was that. And then, that quote, I think you actually summarized it perfectly in what Bob Melvin said. Like, they have no fight. Now, he didn't say that, but you can read into what he said and they have no fight. Now, they went through that a little bit last year. After their good start, I felt the same way. When they went down, they couldn't do anything. Then they finally got going a little bit late in the season, obviously. But I think that's a good summation. Tonight, it was 4-0. They made it 4-2. It was 5-2. They made it 5-3. I don't know if it's a classic example of just completely rolling over, but 4 hits, 0 for 17 at the top of the order. I don't know what it is. It's like they're just not very motivated to treat these games like they're mattering. They're just not. It's like, well, there's another one tomorrow. I mean, what's the worst that happens? We fall 8 games out, 9 games out. We can dig out of it, right? But can they? I mean, with each passing day, you have to question whether this team can actually dig out of this hole. This is not a ridiculous hole, 5 under, but it's getting close to I have no confidence that if they get 7, 8 under, I just don't. If they fall 7-8 under, I don't have confidence they dig out of it. I just don't.
They're a game and a half out from being in last place in the National League West.
I think in last place in the National League.
If you get to that point this year, at this stage of time, like if it was the first 2 weeks of the season, it's all whatever. But this point of the season, 50 games in, and you're potentially going to be in last place in the entire National League.
Yeah, it's 1.5 games separates them from last place in the National League.
There's a reason why I'm not fucking bringing my pom-poms out and celebrating they won 2 in a row while still maintaining 4 games under 500, which is why we talked about today on John and Jim. Have some fucking standards for yourself and realize that, yeah, it's great to win, but you need to have consistency. And this ain't it. Like tonight was kind of a little mini test for me for this team. Like, okay, cool. You won 2 in a row. You scored 7 runs in both games. The offense looked better, albeit you can't hit with runners in scoring position still. The power was yesterday. Hit 4 home runs. Pitching's been really good. Okay, cool. Go out there and prove that you've kind of metaphorically turned this corner here, and you're going to start playing better baseball. And what happens? 4 runs, Tatis error, Odor throws a ball in the fucking dugout. Like, what? I mean, it's just sloppy baseball all around.
The baseball was really sloppy tonight, but I'm not willing to go as far as say, well, it was, lackadaisical, and they haven't been that team. They've been a really good defensive team. You have a bad defensive night, that doesn't mean you're bad.
Offensively,
defender.
they've been lackadaisical.
True,
and they just have no fight.
Tatis literally hasn't made like a mistake in right field. I mean, he's made very few. And by the way, it was a huge play. I know there were still 4 earned runs, but second and third, nobody out's a lot different than first and second. It was a big play. The Odor thing was sloppy, but I mean, it will happen. Offensively is a whole nother story. Let's get to some of these supers. All right. From our buddy, is it Sith or Scythe, would you say? Is this Sith, S-Y?
Scythe, sure.
Okay, Sith or Scythe. Thank you for the super, guys. If you want to contribute, if you want to support, click the $ below the chat box. We do appreciate it. Please subscribe if you're here. Please subscribe. He says Odor's clearly on pace for National League MVP, which is kind of comical, but true. At least Padres MVP. DFA Tatis, no. Mm-hmm. Soto is smashing. Bogey is slumping. Manny is always hurt. Exactly what we predicted, right? Go Pods. Soto's been good, obviously. Tatis has struggled a bit.
He went 0 for again tonight.
Yeah, he was 0 for tonight. I mean, Bogarts is really slumping. I mean, 4 strikeouts. Come on. 4 strikeouts. No, Manny is not always hurt.
Mm-hmm. I think Scythe is being very sarcastic here.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just not good. It's just not good.
Yeah, as you said, as we all predicted, Odor would. Hey, ever since I DFA'd Odor, at least offensively, he's been better. I don't take any credit for what they do in the field defensively, only offensively. So you're welcome for that. But it's just, again, it's like the 1 step forward, 2 step back thing, and hey, go out tomorrow and win the series. That's the thing, is you got to win the series, get a good win tomorrow with Blake Snell on the mound. Okay. And a day game on the road. Good fucking luck. But go out there and show some fight and win, and go to New York, having won a series in Washington, and go win a series in New York.
SoCal Dude 949, thank you for your membership. Do appreciate that. If you want to become a member, click join down below. You'll get emojis and badges. Padres lose 5-3 to the Nationals.
Oh, dude. Welcome to the channel, SoCal Dude.
Yeah, thank you. Let's get some clap emojis in the chat for SoCal Dude. My dog is literally howling upstairs. It's like everything that can go wrong is going wrong. Like literally
I can't
everything.
Hear it. It's okay.
Yeah, I can though. Where You At Productions, thank you for this very generous
Thank you for the super chat.
He says, why do we keep giving chances to Weathers? It makes no sense. We have other options down in AAA. Give Jake Groom a chance. Also, the lineup needs a shakeup. Get rid of Grisham and Nola. They can't hit. They need to be benched. The thing with Weathers that's a little, I guess they needed Nick Martinez more late than they did as a starter. But it is kind of interesting that Martinez is always this yo-yo guy from the rotations of the bullpen. And Ryan Weathers, has not really shown you a lot. at the big league level. He's been better this year if you maybe take this thing out. But yeah, I mean, did you have a lot of faith going into this game that Ryan Weathers was going to win on the road? I mean, I didn't, to be honest.
If the bats showed up, like we've talked about this year, is when has this offense picked up the pitching staff?
Not often. Maybe in Mexico.
That doesn't count. When has this offense, right? Guy goes out there. Weathers did not pitch bad by, we've seen Weathers pitch bad. That was not bad. He got a couple of horrible defensive plays behind him. Now, granted, 4 runs is still 4 runs. It still goes on the ERA. It's not like it's just magically disappears. But he kept him in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all you want from a pitcher. If you give up 4 runs in an inning, just keep you in the game. And that's exactly what Ryan Weathers did. So how about one time this offense picks up the pitcher? That's a fucking idea, right?
That's true. It's true. That has not happened. Listen, it's a fair point. I mean, Jay Groom had a nice spring. I don't know what he's done in AAA. I don't think anyone's performed overly well. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to say about that. I mean, the weather situation, you got Lugo on the IL. I mean, what other options do you have? Groom, okay. Is that much better?
I've thought Weathers has pitched fine. I don't have a problem with Ryan Weathers at all, really. The only pitcher on the pitching staff that I have a problem with is Blake Snell, who pitches tomorrow. And I have a problem with everybody in the lineup. As a collective, not individually, just as a collective. Because Juan Soto's been amazing the last 22 games.
Yeah, no, he has. He's been good. I don't know what he did tonight. What did he do tonight, Jim?
Over.
But he walked twice. So, I mean,
he was on base
safely.
Yeah.
I mean, he was on base 2 of his 4 plate appearances. I mean, it's hard to be overly critical of that.
It's just a collective of the offense, which is just dog shit.
Tom, thank you, man, for your super chat. He says,
Thanks,
what
Tom.
do you do with Grish, or what to do with Grish? Sick of him. Hashtag
Trade
fire
him.
Preller. He's got, I mean, for what?
Anything.
Yeah, I don't think he has any value. I really don't.
Why is he here?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he hopes. Yeah, he was 2 for 39 going into yesterday and had a couple of hits, and then he goes 0 for 4 with 3 Ks today. I mean, no, you're right. It's not good enough. I mean, he's been flat out terrible, and you could say that these other guys haven't been good, but he's been worse than all of them. I mean, he's been worse than Cronenworth. He's been way worse than Bogarts. He's been worse than Carpenter. He's been worse than Odor. He's got a lower OPS. Do I have that right? Yeah, he's got a lower OPS than Rougned Odor, who's been good for the last 3 or 4 games. But this is a regular, as a starter on a quote-unquote good team, and this guy is struggling mightily for seasons now, going back to last year. Not good enough, but for whatever reason, they put up with it.
They just have given him. Hold on, let me see this here. So Trent Grisham is all right. So he's at 191 this year. How many at bats has he had? He's at 152 at bats, and they gave him 451 at bats last year. So that's what, 600 at bats.
650, roughly 600. Yeah,
they've given him 600 at bats in the last 2 years
to hit 188 or something.
To hit 188, like when's enough? 700 at bats?
Yeah,
800 exactly. At bats? 1,000? Yeah, like, do you have to wait 1,000 at bats before you realize that Trent Grisham is not good offensively? Because right now he has 1,400 career at bats, and the dude's a career 219 hitter. Give me a break.
I can't even believe it's that high. I don't even remember when he hit 2020.
I mean, shit. 2021 he hit 242 with a 740 OPS, and you're like
that right now.
But his last 2 seasons have been just absolutely dreadful. Just fucking pathetic.
And the funny thing is, he's going to get paid in arbitration. He's a 2-time Gold Glove Award winner. I have no desire to keep this guy for the next 4 years just because you have him under control. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. I don't see anything. Sergio, thank you for your super chat. Thank you guys for the supers. Just click the dollar sign below the chat box. We'll get to all of them. Padres losing DC to the Nationals. They are 5 games under 500. They are a game and a half better than the worst team in the National League right now. That's Colorado. He says, what will come first? Grisham shaves his stash, or the Padres go over 500, or do either even happen?
I don't know.
And by the way, that was supposed to be the big thing with Grisham this year. Oh, new look. I mean, at this point, I would shave it.
Hey, he had that work. He's worked out with Carpenter in the offseason.
That's great.
No wonder Carpenter now sucks.
Yeah, they both aren't even hitting too high. I mean, this lineup, man, you look at Sullivan, Kim, Grisham, Odor, who's been good, Carpenter. I mean, it's just struggle city. I mean,
how can Preller sit there and think this is okay?
And I don't know, but it's like, Jim, it's like we talk about, it's like, what can you do? I mean, you could definitely call up someone in AAA.
Like, do you think he's sitting there and because when he goes on shows and talks to the media, he puts on a facade. He puts on a complete act. It's really not how he feels. He'll never tell you the truth. Do you think he's sitting there in his office thinking, what the fuck did I get myself into this year?
Maybe. I don't think until now. I don't think until they were 20 and 26 did he fully grasp the spot that they're in. I mean, the whole Nationals thing, everyone always pulls up, since we're playing the Nationals, since the Padres are playing the Nationals, let's bring it up. When they won the World Series in 2019, what did they start, 19 and 31?
Yeah.
20 and 31, something like that.
19 and 31? Yeah.
19 and 30, yes, right in there. So that was at 50 games. They were at their complete low water mark, which is right where the Padres are now. The Padres are not 12 games under, so they haven't done the same damage that team did. Fair, completely fair. But my point, and I made this the last couple of days, is this is the period in time where it's almost required to get fixed in order to turn your season. Nationals did it in 2019. Was there a Braves team that was a couple games under 500? 20 and 24.
It's all around the 50 game mark.
Yeah, it's all at 50 or before. There was a Dodgers team that started 16 and 24 that won a pennant, but that was 40 games in, and then they got scorching hot. Mm-hmm. So when you get past 50 and you get into like 70, there's a little bit of leeway here. I'd give it another 10 games of leeway because, again, they're not 12 under. But like you get to 70 and you're like 4 games under 500, and what are you expecting to change? Like, why would anything change after 70? Do you know how many games that is? It's 70.
I mean, this team is, if you're 62 or 60 and 62, right, at the 120 game mark, does anybody believe that they're just going to rip off 20 games in a row? 30 and 10? Like, at that point, you are who you are. And yes, is it possible that a team that's 60 and 62 or 62 and 60 could get completely scorching hot?
Yeah, it's possible.
It's possible. So I'm not saying it's not possible, but you've just if that happens, you put yourself in like you have one option mode. You have no leeway. You have no wiggle room. You have one option. And that option is you have no choice but to get hot. Like you have left yourself,
and they don't do well with pressure.
Yeah.
So like, are they going to get hot with pressure?
Your term papers due at midnight. It's 11:15.
Yeah. And you haven't written anything.
And you're like halfway through it.
Right. And you can't just double space everything and increase the font.
Right.
It's not going to be good enough.
The pressure's on at that point. So that's where you look at these teams like you were talking about, John, they start turning around in the 50 game mark because it takes a while. This shit doesn't happen overnight. That's why today's loss, you're kind of just sitting there like, fuck, you had an opportunity.
Yeah, like you
win
can't
3
be
in a
losing
row,
these games.
And like you can't. And the Nationals are one of the worst teams in baseball. They're not trying to do anything this year. Like you gotta like be better against the shittier teams. And that's why today you might think, well, hey, guess what? They can still win the series tomorrow. That's great. But like you just missed another opportunity to really like give yourself even more momentum going forward.
No, I agree. We want to remind our viewers about our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. Mark has been in the chat here, I've noticed, over the first 20 minutes or so of the show. Mark, always great to have you. I mean, it's disappointing for Mark. We talk all the time. It's disappointing for Padres fans the way this team is playing. We'll see if they can get it turned around. But the reason we've been able to do this each and every night for the better part of 2 years is because of the support of Mark and because of the support of our viewers, whether you're watching live or on replay. So if you do support what we're doing, we ask that the next time you have any insurance need, you contact Mark. If it's a renewal, if it's a new policy you're looking for a quote for, go online, click the link in the description down below. You can get a quote online, free quote online, auto, home, renter's life, earthquake. I've had a homeowner's policy, an earthquake policy, and a life insurance policy through Mark, and he saved my family hundreds of dollars. We had a claimant here in 2022. He saved us thousands of dollars just by switching your insurance. He can save you $750 or more. Like, think about that. He can save you real money. He's got great service. He takes care of everything. I'm not good in that space. Mark made it super, super easy and simple. He's a native San Diegan. He's a huge Padres fan. Call him. He'll talk to you about how to save money on your insurance. He'll talk to you about the Padres. And if you support this channel, please support our local partners like our title sponsor on the wrap-up show, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance.
Yeah, all his information always is above my head. mnimitz@farmersagent.com is the best way to reach out to Mark. When you reach out to him, let him know that John and Jim from the wrap-up show sent you.
Mark, appreciate your support. Appreciate you hanging out. Again, Padres are back to 5 games under 500, 22-27. Losing today 5-3, 4 hits, 3 errors for the Padres. 4 hits, 3 errors in DC against the Nationals.
I hope at the end of the year, we're just sitting here saying, and the Padres are put in the category, like we talk about the Nationals and the Braves and the Dodgers, like this team started 22-27 and went on to win the pennant. Like, but that's the thing is that needs to happen now. You don't see like, well, this team started 40-47 and went on to win the pennant. Like, when's that? When have we heard those numbers before? We haven't.
Right. Mm-hmm.
We hear 22-26 or 22-27, 19-30, 20-31. Like, it's around the 50 game mark, to your point, John. Like, that's a good one. Is like, this is when you got to start kicking it into gear. 50 games in, around 50 games in. You can't push this off until like 120 and then expect to go on this crazy run. Like, this is the same thing that happened last year with the Phillies. Around this time, they fired their manager and they went on a run. They went, I think, 64 and like 20 or 64 and 40 something to finish the year to just squeak into the postseason. Think about that. The Phillies.
Yeah, they were the last team. Now, they did struggle that final like 10 or 15 days, but yeah, they were the last team, man.
I mean, they fired their manager. Yes, they made the World Series, but that was like they had to fight their ass off till the final day of the season. You might think to yourself, well, maybe it might help the Padres because then you're playing playoff baseball for all of September. And if you get hot, then you just ride it in October. But did anybody expect this team to be fighting for a wild card spot this year? Potentially?
No, not fighting. I mean, there were probably people that thought it would be, it wouldn't be easy to win the division. I think they were a slight underdog heading into the year to win the division. But most people thought that if they didn't win the division, they'd probably be the first wild card this year. I think there's very few people that thought they wouldn't win 90 games this year. And now to get to 90, it's like, geez, you're going to have to play better than 600 baseball to win 90 games. Better than 600 baseball from here on out. And they're playing, 430 baseball so far.
This is a great point by Brent right here. Like, the Dodgers non-tendered Cody Bellinger, who was an MVP. But yet the Padres just like won't do anything but keep Grisham on this team in this roster. Think about that.
I mean, I don't know what you do in the outfield, to be honest. I'm all for making changes with Grisham. Who they DFA'd Angle today, didn't they? Adam Angle.
Yeah, well, he's not. There's no point.
I don't know who's your outfielder that's going to start. I'm with you. I'd put that
Zokar.
Center. Yeah, Zokar is an. I don't know if he's better than Trent Grisham. He can't hit, and he can't play every day.
You're starting in the outfield, John.
I know that's the problem. They don't have anyone. That's the problem. They do. I mean, I would call someone up in AAA and say, "You're going to be better than this guy." So here's your opportunity.
Maybe probably just better. Like too prideful to admit that he fucked up. I mean, what is Eric Lauer doing this year? Anybody know?
Who knows? What was the trade? Lauer for Grisham and who? Lauer and Urias for Grisham and.
All right, Lauer sucks. He's 4-5 with a 5.4 ERA.
Okay. What was that trade?
Let's see here. Oh, it was Luis Urias.
Yeah, but who came over to San Diego other than Grisham?
Eric Lauer, Luis Urias. Padres got Trent Grisham and Zach Davies.
It's like a blah trade. Am I wrong?
And Zach Davies turned out to be like the worst human on the planet.
Right.
Like,
although had that good regular season.
Yeah, 2020. Great.
Yeah. I mean, there's no good options. There aren't. I mean, I kind of understand why Grisham is here because he has no options. Like, you wouldn't want to have Grisham here unless you had no options.
Yeah.
Juan Soto walks. Thank you for
Thank you, Juan
the
Soto walks.
super. The only reason AJ kept Trent is this hot October. I mean, it wasn't that hot. It was a hot 2 series or maybe one.
It's like 5 games.
Yeah, he did nothing against the Phillies. I think he was literally hitless against the Phillies.
And then the Dodgers, he did like barely anything. He had a couple of good moments.
Yeah, no, he had some moments against the Dodgers, but he was great, obviously, against the Mets. But I don't know. That's fine. I understand that sentiment. But after 50 games and
You
150
never,
ABs,
and this is the problem. And like we're thinking way ahead, right? If you happen to win a World Series, that is the ultimate. That's the best thing possible. But like the last thing you want to do is after that happens, lead with your heart instead of your head, especially with like a guy who's a quote unquote postseason hero potentially, who's had a shit regular season career, and really that's like this only moment he's ever had. Like remember Jorge Soler? Now he's granted it's a bad
yeah, he
example.
got paid off postseason. That happens all the time.
I know it happens all the time, but like that's the thing is, especially with guys that aren't even
Yeah,
up to
exactly.
that level, like
Yeah.
Trent Grisham, like you can't look at what he did for 4 games in October, 5 games in October. I think that guy's going to replicate it for a full season because he hasn't shown that he can do that ever.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I don't know. I have no clue why he's here. I mean, it's a great point on Profar. I think Profar has reached base safely in 30 plus consecutive games with Colorado. I mean,
Shut the fuck up, really?
yeah, he's reached base in 30 consecutive games. He has. Now it's Colorado. They're not good, and you have the advantage of
In
playing at
250,
elevation.
take that
But
right
think
now.
about that. If you could, so you didn't find a way to keep Jerks and Profar. You did find Grisham, who was cheaper, obviously, because Profar was the free agent. But like that's a big loss. In retrospect, like not having Jerks and Profar and turning to Trent Grisham every single day has really altered your outfield significantly, and you can't get out from underneath it because you can't go get a player of Jerks and Profar's caliber right now. And Jerks and Profar is not the best player in baseball. And, I wasn't the biggest proponent of keeping him. I think Jim might have been more of a proponent than I was. But in retrospect, not having Jerks and Profar is a huge loss for this team. I mean, you have black holes all over this lineup. And Jerks and Profar last year hit, and this year has continued to hit with the Rockies. What's his on base percentage?
333.
That's good enough. What's Trent Grisham's? 250, maybe?
I mean, Profar's hitting 250 with an OPS of well over 700. It's like 740.
Colorado factor, though, too.
Yeah. I mean, he would probably suck here too.
Yeah, Marine Layer would be the exact same player. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, worse. Marine Layer. Fuck. I'm gonna get a jersey that says Marine Layer on it.
Seriously, man, that's like
it's gonna be double zero because that's all what happens when the Padres are home. They score 0 runs.
what's on Profar that he wanted to be paid?
Yeah, he wanted money.
What did he get? What did he end up signing for?
I don't remember.
What's the Profar deal? It's not a good deal.
It's revisionist history. Who gives a shit?
Well, I want to see this deal. What's he making? 10?
It's a 1-year deal.
He opted out of a 9. He's 1 year 7.75. What was he owed here? Like 9.
Yeah, he bet on himself after last season, and it didn't work out for him. That's basically the gist of it.
And maybe he is the glue guy.
This team, him and Craig Stammen, just man. Without those two guys, this team's crumbled.
I mean, listen, the Profar thing. I'm telling you. I mean, there's something to it. There's something to not having Jerks and Profar.
Is that your new bit?
That's my new bit.
All right. Just roll with it.
He's reached in 30 consecutive games. Trent Grisham hasn't reached in 30 consecutive plate appearances.
Okay, then go with it.
I'm going to say that Jerks and Profar is the difference between winning a World Series and going 73 and 89. Shit. But by the way, they're on pace. I think I just did it in my calculator. I want to say they're on pace to win 73 games.
Yeah,
as crazy as that sounds.
It's a joke. Hey, it's big excited they won 2 in a row. Fuck
22 divided by 49. They're playing 449 baseball. So times 162. They're on pace to win 72.7 games, folks. You say, well, it's a pace. Well, it's 50 games. I mean,
like, it's hard for me to get like truly excited about this team going in the right direction until they get back above 500.
Oh, definitely.
Like, give me a break. We're not going to sit here and me and you aren't, right? Other people will, but it's like they win a game. Okay, let's have that not be in a vacuum. Yesterday's win feels like in a vacuum now, unless they win tomorrow. They lose tomorrow. Fuck, dude. I don't just like you said, John. You go 3-6 on this road trip. You come back home and
you're in trouble. It's the make or break. It's the make or break,
and bake.
or make or bake. It's the make or break trip. I think if you go 6-3 or better, you've done some real work, and you could have some momentum, and you can think about maybe this team is starting to play better baseball. Or you go 3-6 or worse, and you have serious questions about their ability to even compete in the month of September this year. And I think in between, you're just staving something off. You go 4-5. Well, obviously the season's not over. You go 5-4. Well, obviously you haven't made your season. So I'm just looking at, are they going to go in one direction or the other? Or are they just going to stay in the middle? And I don't know. It's at some point they're going to have to go in one direction, and hopefully it's in a positive direction. And the other thing is, when's Manny Machado coming back? Reportedly not Friday from AJ Cassavell and Kevin Acee, but does that mean
surprised if that happens?
Does that mean Tuesday he's back in Miami? We'll find out.
Well, he's not missing Miami, right? Come on.
Can't miss Miami. Can't miss Miami. Guys, please support our local partners like Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. Link for Mark's website is down below in the description. Same thing with Aura. The link is down below in the description. Great company. Their co-founder, Will, is a huge Padres fan, a huge supporter of this channel. Lives and dies on these games like all of us do. ORA.organic. They've got a great company. He's got a company with all plant-based nutritional products. All the products are plant-based. Whether it's a probiotic, which I've been telling you for a year plus, I take it every day for digestion. Now my wife is taking it every single day. She's taken it for the last couple of weeks. She loves it. They have the pre-workout supplements. They have the proteins for after workouts. They have the omega-3 oils. If you're taking a fish oil, then you could substitute that with their omega-3 oil. It's the plant-based substitute. They have sleep pills and immunity pills and more. They have products literally for everyone, yourself, your spouse, family, friends. If you support our channel, please support our partners. We can't do this day in and day out without our partners, just like we can't do it day in and day out without our viewers. So ORA.organic, or click the link in the description down below. If you're looking to get healthier, do it with our friends, a local company, Aura.
Yeah, check them out, www.ora.organic. Will, co-founder of Aura, massive Padres fan. I know he's going through it just like you guys are when the team loses, the ups and downs of this season. But what Will has done with Aura has been fantastic. It's the best, cleanest, supplements on the market, all plant-based, all organic. Go check them out. Pick up some supplements, try them out. Guarantee you'll like it. Guarantee you'll start feeling better about yourself. They have what I use, the pre-workouts, the raspberry lemonade flavor, delicious. It gives you everything a pre-workout you want from a pre-workout. It gives you everything that nothing you don't, which is the big crash at the end of your workouts, like you get with other pre-workouts. This doesn't give you that. So go out there, get some supplements, try it out. Yes, Aura is definitely the missing piece, Iron Swan, to this season. And you'll thank us later when you pick up some supplements.
You'll be thanking us later. A couple of things. Tomorrow, again, not must win, although it feels like it.
Every game is such a big.
Game feels like it
because you got to get above 500.
Jake Irvin, the starting pitcher for the Nationals tomorrow, has not been good. He's made 4 starts. He's got a 1.61 WHIP with a 5.5 ERA, 1.61 WHIP. You have to be able to get to pitching that is major league average or below. With this lineup, with at least the top heaviness of this lineup, you have to be able to hit major league average pitching in a good hitter's yard like Nationals Park. They just got to find ways to keep hitting. 6 home runs in the series is impressive.
Yeah.
But only 3 runs here today. They got to find a way, score 5 runs tomorrow, get half decent pitching from Blake Snell and win whatever the score may be. But tomorrow's not the day to go quietly on your way to New York with 4 more hits and 2 more runs. It's just not the day for that. You got to treat tomorrow if you're the Padres. And again, it's not like they're going to win every game. We get it. Just because they're in a hole doesn't mean they win every game. But with a chance to win a series on the line, and you haven't won a series since you beat the Reds May 1st through the 3rd, I see it as a pretty it's a pretty important game, I would say, for the Padres tomorrow afternoon.
Very important. The goals to win series, right? Win 2 or 3 here, win 2 or 3 in New York, 2 or 3 in Miami, 6 and 3, boom, how you doing? Everything's great road trip. But like, yeah, you especially can't be losing series to the likes of the Nationals and the Royals. It just can't happen. It just can't. Season's not over if we lose tomorrow.
Right.
But that like mini momentum that you had for that amazing just parade throwing 2-game winning streak, you will have lost it in a matter of just days.
It was Michael Papalardo tweeted us an hour ago and said, at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD, Padres in 2022 and 2023, including the playoffs, versus the Giants, Reds, and Diamondbacks, they were 41-14 since the start of last year. Okay. Against everyone else, 76-92. So they've done damage against just a couple of teams.
Dude, they were 6-0 versus the Reds last year, remember?
They've killed the Reds. They've absolutely killed the Reds.
They've been better against the Giants, and they've actually been better against the Rockies, kind of. Maybe I'm not at Coors Field, but still.
But it's interesting that, but now they're just not beating anyone. Good teams, bad teams. Like you said, Royals, Nationals. They're just, it doesn't matter who they're playing. It's more a reflection of the Padres than it is anyone else. Mm-hmm. Michael, thank you for your super chat. Thank you for hanging out, guys. If you're here, please subscribe. Year-round Padres content for you. If you're here, we appreciate the super chats. We really do. It's a great way to support this channel and our work. Great way to interact. We interact with all of the super chats, as you know. Michael says should have kept Drury and Profar. Continuity plays a factor with this team, and for some reason, Padres were better last season at 50 games without Tatis, Soto, and Xander. That's true. Tatis, Soto, and Xander. Like 15 games over 500 right now. A year ago,
Brandon Drury's hitting .235 with 7 homers and 23 RBIs.
Yes, I mean it's not horrific compared to what this team's doing.
Oh, he'd be one of the best hitters on the team.
But again, Marine Lair and like Petco.
Yeah.
What was it yesterday? Kim's home run, which is like launched. That wouldn't have left Petco Park, according to the Would It Dong website.
Would It Dong?
The ball just does not travel at Petco. It's just bring those fences in, man. Make it 250 down the left field line, 240 to center, and 211 to right.
Make that shit a fucking bandbox, dude.
Make it Williamsport. Just take the Williamsport dimensions and copy them.
Make it feel like Coors Field is you're hitting in a valley.
Yeah. And the truth is, and thank you, Michael.
Win every game 15-14.
I hate to do this. This isn't what I was trying to pull up. I hate to do this. And we've joked about it. It's facetious, but it's also serious. Dude, every freaking day is this thick gray cloud cover, aka the marine layer. And every single day it's 60 degrees. And every single night it's 60 degrees. And every single night the clouds are moving in. And every single night the wind's coming in. It has not been a good combination. I know it's in their heads. I know at home it is a factor that they cannot, for whatever reason, get any lift. Everything is deadened there. They're 10-15 at home. And you might say, well, the other team's playing there too. Yeah, but the other team leaves.
We ain't staying here. It's fine by
the
us.
Other team's there for 3 days. Our team comes home to it.
It's a joke, dude. I wish I could. I just want to see in the future because I can see all right, is this team really just going to be this fucking mid for the entire year? Or are they going to show some fight?
I'd be surprised.
Some guts and turn this thing around.
Yeah, no, I'd be surprised if they played like this all year. But
I hope not,
at what point are we going to be yeah, well, they did.
Because no, you're right. Because at what point do we just completely turn on they're average, they're mid, they're just whatever, and then it's they still turn it around. Where's that cutoff point? Is it officially when they get eliminated? I don't know, you know what I mean?
We're still a while off from that. Or Anthony's well, then play small ball, John. Not everything can be home run or bust, but they're terrible. They don't know how to do any of it. Situational hitting team.
They don't know how to play small ball.
They don't bunt well. They don't run well. And they don't move runners. and they don't hit with men in scoring position. So I wish they could do that. I'm with you. I think that is the solution. I'm 100% with you. It's not like it's home run or bust in baseball, but they're not good in the latter either. They're not good at creating runs.
Did you see the stat on TV today? They've hit, I don't know exact number. It was either 52 or 54 home runs on the year, and 30, like 4 of them were solo shots.
I saw that. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what? Jeez, dude.
Everything's a solo home run.
Everything's a solo.
What were the home runs? Who homered tonight?
Kim and Odor.
Yeah, 2-run shot from Odor with 2 outs and a solo shot from Kim. I really don't think they will play like this all year. I really don't.
I hope not, man, because that would suck. Every Padres fan that expected this year to be the year, that's just a kick in the fucking guts, dude. I mean, how many apologies will be thrown out if this season goes like that from the front office? I would assume there has to be every single day. Like, we're sorry.
I don't even want to forecast it yet. It is May. It's not July, but
right.
It's an interesting point from Rich. It's like, yeah, 4 superstars, but you're still outnumbered in the lineup by the other dudes.
You got 4 superstars in the lineup. You got 5 losers.
Yeah, and what wins out?
Yeah. I mean, you got majority of the lineup is beyond mid.
And I'm with you, Chad. I mean, we've talked about this tonight a little bit. They're just not mentally strong. Bob Melvin was quoted about it tonight. He didn't say that exact thing. He was like, it doesn't make sense to not be having quality at bats when you should be. And they're just not having quality at bats when they should be.
I mean, Bob Melvin did it in the nicest way possible tonight, calling out your team for having no fight. Like, think about that. He, again, had to say in the nicest way possible, there's no fight from you guys tonight.
Mm-hmm. Like, I know exactly. He didn't go about it the way he did 2 weeks ago,
right?
When the team went in the tank.
Well, the team is still in the tank, John.
That's what I'm saying. The team's going in the tank.
Yeah,
exactly.
And he said it in a nice tone tonight. But the translator, right, for Key and Peele?
I don't.
The translator said, "You guys have no fucking fight." That's what Bob Melvin's translator said.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I do. Yeah, I mean, and I agree that Juan Soto, I was surprised, has 5 stolen bases. I think Tatis needs to run more. They're not on base enough. Yeah, they're not getting on base.
Bunting won't help. The last thing you want to see is Xander Bogaerts putting down a bunt.
Right. Or Tatis.
The success of bunting, if you said, all right, guys, tonight, all we're going to do is bunt. Like, that would be really bad.
Yeah, it's interesting now. I mean, it's easy to say now, 22 and 27. Like, what were they thinking with some of these roster moves in the offseason, like the Carpenter Cruz platoon, which I was kind of on board with, but
that hasn't worked out. They had more money.
And then trusting Grisham to play every day after he didn't hit last year, and then trusting Nola to play every day, even though he didn't hit last year. Right. And moving Cronenworth off second to first where you need to get more power out of it. I mean, that's, you were asking, you were doing a little bit of hoping, you weren't basing it off anything more than hope. And you were saying, well, we got Tatis back. Well, we got Xander Bogaerts. We got Juan Soto for a full year.
Trusting Kim, who didn't hit last year either, play every day and somehow hit. Even though, to his credit, he does have 5 home runs this year.
Kim has 5 home runs?
Yeah, he's fifth.
If you look at Baseball Reference, his WAR's probably like 11. They're like, it's the greatest player ever. He's like Shohei Ohtani, but better. For whatever reason, his WAR is
such a stupid stat for him. Yeah. So stupid.
What is his WAR? I'm serious. I'm going to Google it right now.
I'm going to say right now his WAR is like 1.8.
If it's higher than 1.5, I mean, that's a complete joke, isn't it? It's 1.8. It's 1.8.
1.8.
With a 678 OPS. Give me a break.
1.8 with dude.
So he's on pace to have a 6 WAR.
6 WAR and have a 680 OPS.
6 WAR.
That just shows you how sometimes stupid WAR.
That's so stupid. And watch us on Kim when he becomes a free agent after next year is going to get 8 years, 280. He's next Xander Bogaerts. He's 11, 280 to like the Angels.
Yeah, when Soto leaves here, it's going to be like, oh, the first player to ever hit 400 since Ted Williams.
How does he lead the team in WAR?
Give me a break.
Juan
Really?
Soto's 1.7.
Fucking
That's crazy. That's
Dude.
stupid.
That's the dumbest thing ever. Tweet that out. Tweet that out and say, how stupid is this? Ha-Seong Kim leads the team in WAR.
Tweet it. Tweet it.
No.
Exactly. That's how stupid it is. I don't even want to tweet it. Guys, if you are here, we have a pretty cool new partnership with our friends over at FOCO. Okay, the link, I believe, is pinned at the top of the chat. Let me confirm that. So I'm going to go on YouTube and see if the link is pinned at the top of the chat. But as you can see on screen right now, FOCO has a whole collection of Padres items. Is this pinned at the top of the chat?
I don't know.
I don't know if it is. I'm going to put a link in right now. While I put a link in, I'm going to remind you that they also have, I'm going to show you in a moment, this Manny Machado big head bobblehead. Here's the link. Okay. By the way, 10% off your entire order, whatever you pick up. Promo code, it's in the comments. Wrap Up Show 10, 10. Wrap Up Show 10, all caps, 10% off your entire order. But here's the thing. This Machado bobblehead, I haven't even checked today if it's still available. It is. So these have all sold out that we've been pushing and promoting. This is available for pre-order, but it's going to ship very soon. It's shipping no later than in June 23rd. So it's shipping in the next couple of weeks. This is the Manny Machado San Diego Padres big head bobblehead. These things, we showed them off to you a couple of times, the Juan Soto bobblehead. These things are unbelievable. These products, the attention to detail in these things is incredible. There's only 144 of them. So if you want it, click the link that is in the chat, or there's a link for FOCO down below as well in the description, all the way down below. But click the link in the chat. This thing will sell out. There's 144. The Juan Soto City Connect sold out. The Fernando Tatis Jr. City Connect sold out. There's some others that are on that site right now as well that have sold out. So click the link if you want that bobblehead. By the way, they got other bobbleheads. They got the Snoopy bobblehead. Snoopy, again, has been the best player on this team, as we've told you about.
He has a 9 WAR in 45 games.
This one we pushed, I think, for maybe a day, and it sold out. This is already sold out.
We didn't have a chance to push it because it sold out so quickly.
This one we pushed, it sold out. This one we pushed, it sold out. So, listen, if you want these things, Snoopy, Manny Machado, great gift for, birthdays, Padres fans, Father's Day, whatever it is, pick them up, click the link. It is in the chat, or click the link down below in the description. Thank you, FOCO.
Thank you, FOCO.
Thank you, FOCO. Thank you, guys. All right, let's get back to some of these supers. Carson, what's going on, man? Good to have you here as always. Thank you for your support of this channel as always. He says, it sucks because we were 1 or 2 moves away from being good. Maybe.
What moves?
Well, that's the thing. It's I think sometimes we discount the importance of cohesion. Yeah, it's an individualistic game, right? Yeah, you hit, I hit. You hitting has nothing to do with me hitting, in theory. Right. It's not basketball. I pass the ball to you and you have a better chance to score because of my good pass. That doesn't really happen. Maybe there's 2 in scoring position, but but there's something to be said for cohesion. You got to want to do the job. You're going there every single day. You got to want to be there. It's got to be the right group of players. I don't see why it's not. I mean, a lot of the core is here. A lot of the core from last year is here, but for whatever reason, it's not the same. It's just not. It's not the same as whatever they had going last year.
It just doesn't feel, at this moment in time, it doesn't feel like it at all.
Nope.
Bob Melvin even mentioned it in his post-game presser tonight as we lost John. So that's great. I bet you his computer died.
My bad.
And we lost John. Melvin mentioned it in his post-game tonight how last year they had 15 walk-offs and they have 1 this year.
Go sign Alfaro.
Alfaro had 5 of them last year, and he was getting paid $620,000. And I preached last year that the thing that Preller has not been able to do is find diamonds in the rough.
Mm-hmm.
He's not been able to find that scrap heap guy that comes in here and just completely outperforms what he's making. Preller has not done that at all. And I mean, you argue that he did that with Alfaro last year, but then Alfaro became irrelevant and he got no playing time down the stretch. He just was yeah, Melvin's like, yeah, we're not going to use you. You're not playing. And he got hurt and so. But when's the last time Preller found a diamond in the rough guy? I'll say Jerkson Profar is one of those guys. Okay, he's not here anymore. Alfaro is one of those guys. He's not here anymore. Who's that diamond in the rough guy for this Padres team right now? Is it Rugnit Odor?
It would be like maybe some of these bullpen pieces that have been all right, but
offensively, John.
Yeah, well, I'm with you. I mean, offensively, there's no one. I mean, there's
the
only offensive piece that's performed is Juan Soto. So
it's great to find him bullpen pieces, but you got to score runs to win games. And what offensive guy has he found that's not a $300 million contract?
I think he's got to go trust someone. I think you got to look at what you have in AAA. And I know 1,000 OPSs and the PCL don't translate to 1,000 OPSs in the big leagues, but you can't allow this to continue much longer without at least seeing what else you have. And I know you don't have blue chippers. You don't have top 10 product. Who cares? Go find a 28-year-old that's hitting in AAA that can just hit. I mean, again, do I need to see more Brandon Dixons? Do I need 9 Brandon Dixons up? No. But I'm not opposed to seeing someone that can help. That, again, what are you going to do? Worse than Grisham? What are you going to do? Worse than Nola? It's not possible. Yeah, like Branches, I'm with you. How long? This is literally what I'm saying. How long are we going to be happy with status quo? Why not? What's the worst that happens?
It's
they don't hit.
Yeah. And you might get annoyed with all my retweeting of former Padres players in other places, but I mean, it's kind of like I'm saying it without saying it. The development for this organization is absolute shit. There's no way around it. There's just no way around it. And when I look at guys like Estuary Ruiz and Brent Rooker, now granted, they're on the worst team in baseball, but they're still playing in the majors and they're still playing major league teams. They're not playing in AAA. They might be a AAA ball club, but they're still in the bigs. Last time I checked. And
yeah, but everything, the stats for the A's are fake. There's no pressure. There's no anything. I mean,
okay.
I don't trust anything going on with Oakland. I mean, they're literally the worst team in the history of baseball.
Okay.
I mean, you think Brent Rooker would be?
No, I don't. But I'm just pointing out the fact that there's a reason why you muted my timeline from retweets is because there are so many former Padres out there that are excelling and succeeding on other teams that aren't the Padres.
There are. And then there's the guys like, who do we talk about today? There's some guys that
there's some guys that suck. Fall off the cliff. I get it. Totally fair. Totally fair.
But no, you're right. There's guys that perform. There are. I mean, the Francis, the Nailers. I mean, there's a number of examples.
Adam Frazier Adam Frazier, he was traded here and it was the dumbest. It was like the dumbest trade ever. You had an all-star second baseman and you traded for a second baseman. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Right.
But I mean, 255, 5 home runs. You don't think that would help this team out?
Here would be 130.
Yeah, his OPS is 751. He has an OPS plus of 109.
Yeah, take 100 points off that in San Diego. That's my rule of thumb.
Then I don't know what to say, John, because it's
true.
I know it is true. And
I mean, is that everyone gets impacted by it, including like Juan Soto.
So are we going to we're officially just going to blame them there forever, right?
No, but because I want to see them actually play like a team. What I am willing to say is building with offense is dumb. If you're the Padres, spending $1 billion on offense is probably not the way to do it. I'd rather spend $1 billion on pitching. There's no perfect way to do it. I mean, your pitching you can have a Strasburg type situation where you don't appear for 5 years, but like to spend $1 billion on hitting, I don't know. I mean, let's see how it plays out.
He did it because he can't develop. And he knows it.
I agree. Zephyr, thank you for the super. He says, John and Jim, when are you guys batting in the lineup tomorrow? I think you guys can hit with runners in scoring position. I mean, we wouldn't do much worse.
We would look exactly like Trent Grisham tonight.
Like Eric Hosmer's, like if you have a negative WAR, then like we have had the same impact on a season as some of these guys.
Yeah,
I don't know. The risk stuff is crazy. They've now had 19 games this year without a hit with a man in scoring position. That's freaking wild.
They're better. They're doing better tonight. They were only 0 for 1. Not that bad.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you're
Great.
1 for your last 20.
One for your last 20 and
And
2 in one of those 3 games. Like we said, that's not sustainable, obviously. You don't hit, you don't win. Simple
But
as
John,
that.
they won. Who cares?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. They did win.
Last night.
Guys, underdogfantasy.com is the best and easiest place to play fantasy sports. Use promo code PADSWRAP, PADSWRAP, and get a 100% deposit up to $100 on your first deposit. You can win 20 times your money in a single night. Go 2 for 2 in the pick'em contest, win 3 times your money. Go 5 for 5, win 20 times. With insurance, you can get one wrong. You can still win 10 times your money with pick'em insurance. Double your first deposit up to $100 at underdogfantasy.com by using promo code PADSWRAP, PADSWRAP. Let's go over to the Underdog Fantasy lobby right now. They have drafts going on in every single active sport. I'm talking about the NBA for tomorrow with Miami and Boston. I'm talking about Major League Baseball with all games going on Thursday. NHL with whatever the hell's going on there.
Dude, tonight was nuts. Did you see that game?
No.
Well, of course you didn't. But
Why would I?
Florida was an 8 seed. There was 17 seconds left in regulation, and they scored the game-winning goal.
Great. You should start a Panthers channel.
I might, actually. It'd be huge because at least they win.
Actually, you know what? Fine. You want to talk some hockey? Who do you like here tomorrow?
Yeah. Okay.
You like Jack Eichel with 3 shots, higher or lower?
Honestly, you could name these names. Exactly. That's not a real person. It's not a real person.
Let's include them. Higher than 3 shots tomorrow for our boy Jack Eichel.
Jack Eichel. What else you got?
Let's get to
Padres. Who is Jack Eichel?
I have no clue.
Can he help this Padres team?
Is Soto gonna freaking bust out in a big way against this dude with a 5.5 ERA tomorrow?
Do it.
Do it.
No, actually, go lower. So
I know. You're right. Let's go lower.
Who the fuck is Jack Eichel?
You know what? Let's go back to the NHL.
Yeah, I like the NHL.
Tyler Seguin.
Tiger Sequin.
Is he gonna have a point tomorrow for Dallas?
Dude, no, Dallas sucks.
Okay, Dallas sucks.
Yeah.
WNBA. Candace Parker. I feel like she's due for 12 points.
Yeah, sure. Higher.
Actually, Kelsey Plum would play La Jolla Country Day.
Oh, yeah. I like Kelsey. Higher.
I'll go with higher than 27.5 points and rebounds and assists. She must be a damn
Kelsey.
good player. So anyway, if we go 4 for 4 here, our $20 turns into $200. Simple as that. Underdogfantasy.com. Use promo code PADSWRAP, PADSWRAP, and get a 100% deposit match up to $100. I will put a link in the chat right now. All right. Thank you guys for your support of Underdog Fantasy. A number of you guys have played and won. Let me just see here, catching up on the chat. Are we getting swept by the Yankees? I saw the Yankees lost to Baltimore tonight.
Baltimore's good, though.
Really good.
Dude, the Red Sox just got swept by the Twins.
Did they after they were here?
Or not the Twins, the Angels. Why do I think the Twins? Sorry.
What's the Angels' record?
That's a great question. The Angels are
got to be over, right?
28 and 23.
Jeez.
God, you'd kill for the 28 and 23 here in San Diego. I mean, Seattle's 25 and 24. And then Oakland's 10 and 41.
I mean, you're not selling Ohtani if you're 5 games over, though.
You know what's great? You know what's crazy? Can you name anybody on the Rangers right now?
Jacob DeGrom.
Who's not hurt?
Yeah. Is Marcus Semien there?
Who's not hurt?
Right.
I think he's actually might be playing. My point is, Bruce Bochy, man. Good on him.
That's the takeaway.
Marcus Semien is playing. He's in $299 for the team.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing: they can't get swept in New York. I don't care what happens tomorrow. You can't get swept. You can't get swept anywhere from here on out. You don't want to get swept. I don't think they have getting swept many more times in them if they're going to win 89 games or something like that. How many more times can they get swept?
We don't have that in us, dude.
Yeah.
We're like
We should be doing the sweeping, and by we I mean the Padres.
Yeah, we should be sweeping.
Right.
We need to play better. We need to win games. Give me a fucking break with that.
What do you want to talk about, Boogie?
I got nothing.
All right. Back tomorrow. Join us on the radio, 3 o'clock. But Annie Halpern will join us tomorrow at 4. We're going to try to get Scott Miller on the show either tomorrow or Friday. He just wrote in the New York Times about Fernando Tatis Jr. coming to Yankee Stadium this weekend, about the redemption tour for Tatis. Scott Miller in the New York Times. We'll try to get him on the show at some point, either Thursday or Friday. Join us on San Diego Sports 760 tomorrow from 3 to 6. You'll hear from Bob Melvin after the game, his postgame thoughts. Can the Padres win a series for the first time in 3 weeks? We will find out tomorrow afternoon. Weird start time, 4:05 Eastern, 1:05 Pacific before
travel
Friday night New York.
So fine.
What's that?
Travel from Washington, D.C. to New York, not that big of a deal.
I know, it's just a weird start time, though. Isn't it 4:05 East? Like, what advantage do you have by starting at 4:05 if you're the Nationals? You can get people there from work. It's just still weird. Yeah. But they play at night, Friday night, New York, and then I want to say 10:05, 10:35 Pacific, something like that, or 10:35, then 10:05, 2-day games in New York before heading for Miami. Big trip, make or break potentially for the Padres, who are 1-1 to start this 9-game trip. Guys, if you're here, subscribe. Year-round exclusive Padres content for you. We've got you covered. Please subscribe. Doesn't cost you a penny. Smash the like button for us and follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Please support our local partners. Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. He can save you money on your insurance. Click the link in the description. ora.organic, plant-based nutritional products. Click the link in the description down below. We told you about Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code PADSWRAP. Get a 100% deposit match up to $100 at underdogfantasy.com. And FOCO, I put the link in earlier. It's also in the description down below. If you want those bobbleheads, they're going to sell out. Click that link. Use promo code WrapUpShow10 in all caps, WrapUpShow10 for 10% off your entire order. Padres are 22-27. They got a big rubber match on Thursday at 1:05. We'll catch up with you tomorrow on the radio at 3 p.m. And until tomorrow, for Jim, I'm John. This has been the